So, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here this evening. My name is Chalkias, and I am the coordinator of the Technology Demonstration Center at the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People here at Baruch College. What we do at the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People, or what we like to call CCVIP, is provide computer and technology training for people who are dealing with every aspect of vision loss. So everything from mild vision loss, which leaves people with a lot of usable vision, to people who are completely blind, and we try to work with them and support their exploration of computer technology. And with me this evening is Chancey Fleet. She's an assistive technology specialist, and she currently works as the coordinator of assistive technology with the New York Public Library, the Andrew Heiskell branch. And we're here tonight as part of the Internet Week, as part of Internet Week, and our presentation is called Inaccessibility. And what we're going to do tonight is just present a little bit about, over the next hour, we're going to talk about the experiences that people who are blind and visually impaired have in dealing with the web and web-related products. And sometimes how things work and how sometimes they don't work, or don't work as well as we'd like them to. And I guess the best way for us to start is I'm going to show you a quick video, and then we'll have a conversation about it afterwards.
Viewing menus, register here for
I check my Facebook page every day, and every once in a while my friends post the results of a quiz that they've taken on BuzzFeed, and I really want to participate in these. So one day I got one that sounded really cool. Which superhero are you? And I clicked on it.
Which superhero are you?
So I'm on the page, and I'm going to start navigating through to see what each of the questions are, so that I can see which superhero I'm most like. So I'm going to just arrow down, and we'll see what happens.
1. Marvel. List of 3 bullet. Bullet. List and this list of 3 items. Bullet. List and the list of 3 bullet. List and this 2. DC comic, list of 3 bullet.
Just want to introduce a concept about what accessibility is. And when we talk about accessibility, today we're mostly focusing on web products and services. So Gus's emphasis is really going to be on the web, but what accessibility concepts apply to all kinds of technology, from web products and services to point-of-sale devices to tablets and laptops. So these guidelines are things to keep in mind across the board when we think about technology. I found an acronym that I find really useful to think about what accessibility or universal design, meaning design that's effective for all users, consists of, and the acronym is POUR, P-O-U-R. A website, and I'll stick to websites for now, should be perceivable. A user with different abilities should be able to perceive what's there. And that's in the beginning of the clip that we watched. Gus couldn't perceive what was there. The questions weren't properly labeled, so he wasn't able to get that content. The website should be operable, meaning Gus should be able to drive through the website using the keyboard. Someone with fine motor impairment should be able to use the tool of their choice, and a typical user using the mouse should be able to navigate too. So from what we saw in the clip so far, the website was operable. The website should be understandable, meaning even if you can perceive and operate the controls on the website, it should make sense. You should know what your options are and what you can do with those options, why you should take a particular action. And finally, the website should be robust. So accessibility should be implemented in a way from the bottom up that when a website's updated or changes, usability and accessibility are retained. Do you want to go back to the clip? Do you want me to go
No,
to
we're not
the
ready.
reasons? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about reasons why. Okay. Do you want me to do the reasons?
Let's ask them what they know about it first.
Okay. Does anybody from the audience want to share how they would define accessibility, or what they might already know about accessibility? Maybe later?
did a very good job. Improve on that.
Hopefully people will improve on it every day because it is a concept that seems to elude a lot of people and a lot of designers. So I hope that after today's presentation you can all help us get the word out. So why should designers and companies make their website, app, or mobile application accessible? We came up with what we think are some pretty compelling reasons. First of all, it can help your company comply with Section 508 of the Web Accessibility of the VR Act, 1973. So Section 508 basically states that telecommunications equipment and technology procured by the federal government must be accessible. Compliance is not something that is always fully enforced or achieved, but is a standard to aspire to, and it is a matter of law. And that can help your company avoid an anti-discrimination lawsuit. So, more importantly, web accessibility allows more people to have access to information, meaning that they can look at your content and spend money with you. Web accessibility is helpful to people without disabilities. So some folks that don't have a visual impairment that rises to the level of what they would consider a disability still appreciate high contrast options. A lot of older people appreciate a clear, clean color scheme. People who use small screens, in other words, any mobile phone user, appreciates a website that is well structured and free from clutter. And people who are web beginners, whose web literacy is emerging, appreciate a clean, well-structured, uncluttered web page. Additionally, developing universal design into your web application shows that your company is forward-thinking and socially responsible, increases your customer base, means that your website will work better on a wide variety of devices, and actually pages that are accessible, particularly in regard to the alternative text and metadata that they have for screen readers, are actually easier to find and index with search engines, which means that you can actually boost your search rank by making your website more accessible. And finally, developing web products and services that are accessible from the ground up prepares you for that day when you may apply for a grant or a contract or an RFP with a federal agency or an educational institution. And in any of those cases, it's much easier having implemented accessibility from the beginning to comply with accessibility guidelines that those kind of competitive and desirable contracts require.
And I'm trying to figure out why I can get a lot of on my iPhone that comes free with it because they built accessibility from the beginning, as to why I have to pay $1,000 for a copy of JAWS.
That is a really interesting point, and it is a market, fortunately, that is beginning to see more competition and, thank goodness, more free and low-cost options in the desktop space. And I think that is a sufficiently weighty question that we could probably develop a whole other presentation for it. But where it does tie in with web accessibility is that now that our market is fragmenting and we have so many choices, it's really important for web designers to make sure that their accessibility and their universal design works on every platform and every browser. And when we talk about Google Apps in a little bit, we're gonna touch on that specific point.